Okay, so we're going to go through back bridge, which is also commonly called the glute bridge. Now, the reason why we use this exercise is often to train the glutes, but specifically the glutes in an end range hip extension pattern. Hip extension meaning the leg going behind you. So it's a great exercise to train that. The challenge is that when we're needing to train that pattern of end range hip extension, it usually means we don't well control our trunk. And therefore, when we go into that end range hip extension, we overload, overextend our lower back. So let me just show you what I mean. Chest up a little bit. So a lot of people, when they lie in this position to start off, are already going to be in a little bit of a high chest holding pattern. And then if he lifts from here, go ahead and lift. He's already lifting from an extended position. And then the higher he goes into hip extension, the more resistance that comes in through the hip flexors, the more activity you get in the muscles around the back. And what tends to happen is you get a little bit too much extension stress in the lower back. So we really want to work away from that trend. So it's a good exercise to train that pattern, but it's also challenging to coordinate. So what we're going to do is we're going to bend the elbows. And then first thing we want to do is relax the chest. Okay, relax the hips. And just let that space around your kidneys settle into the floor. The second thing we're going to do is I'm going to get your hands around your waist, so thumbs into your back and fingertips towards your groin. And then I want you to try to create a little bit of pressure into that space. So expand gently into your thumbs and into your fingers. Okay? So even when you exhale, I want you to feel like there's some expansion into this space, kind of like you're getting a little bit ready for a jab to the gut. Okay? So create that resistance, create that tension into your fingers so that you have a little bit of that intra-abdominal pressure and connection through your abdominal wall. This is going to connect chest to pelvis, and then your goal is to hold this connection throughout your bridge. Now, the next step that I would recommend you think about when you go into this pattern is thinking about how you connect your feet to the floor. So I want you to think about your entire foot from your heel to all 5 toes connecting to the ground. Now, let me tell you what often happens. A lot of people that go into this pattern will load almost entirely to their heel and more to the outside of their foot. And I want you to make sure that you get a connection through the center of your heel, not the outside, and down all the way through a long and wide big toe. Okay? Center of your heel down through a long and wide big toe, and then connect to the floor. Create a strong connection to the floor with your feet. And when you start to lift into your bridge, do not think about lifting. Think rather about pressing. The lift comes from the fact that you're pressing so hard through the floor that you lift your pelvis off the ground, not because you're thinking of lifting. Okay, go ahead. Drive your feet into the floor. Plant hard, hold there. When you're holding there, make sure you keep that connection, intra-abdominal pressure around that whole abdominal wall all the way around into your thumbs. Hold those feet strong to the floor and then come back down. Now, I'm going to try bringing your feet in a little bit tighter. Go ahead, bring those feet in a little bit tighter. Okay, and now same thing. Center of your heel down through your big toe. Connect to the floor, create a little bit of that pressure. Okay, hold the connection to the floor for your feet and then push so hard that you drive your hips up. Hold there. Hold this position. Now, like I said, our goal here is to train end range hip extension without overloading an extension pattern in the lower back. So I want you to push hard into those feet. Squish that floor. Crush the ground. There you go. Drive that end range extension through a massive effort that pounds your feet into the floor. And then slowly come down. And at no point in this exercise, from the bottom or the top, should you see his chest separate from his pelvis, or should you see the angle or the curvature through his trunk change. Very nice. Good. It's going to be most challenging to hold that connection at the end range, which is why you really need to focus on continuing to drive, not lift, and back down. So that is the back bridge and maybe a little bit of the nuance that you might be missing from it. So give that a try and have fun with it.